Sterling. I am one of the co-leaders of GEG SoCal. I am also an instructional coach up in Newhall, which is in Santa Clarita. And I have Stacy and Karen that are also on. Today they're kind of just helping on the back end, answering questions. But yes, please wave, and they'll be here supporting as well. All right. There we go. So one thing that I want to remind you of when it comes to collaboration, especially digitally and in a digital classroom, is that digital tools are not inherently collaborative. And by that, what do I mean? There are so many tools out there where they say this is great for collaboration, or this is a tool you can use to collaborate in your classroom. The reality is the tool itself is not collaborative. As an educator, we have to find ways to use that tool to facilitate that collaboration. If I just create a Flipgrid and I have my students go into a Flipgrid and create a video and I respond to them with feedback, there's actually zero collaboration happening beyond student and teacher collaboration. I'm responding to them. That's nice. I should do that anyways in feedback. But if I want to take Flipgrid and make it collaborative, that's where I'm going to have students respond to each other, or I'm going to have students create a video based off of something that they've done collaboratively outside of Flipgrid. So that could be in a meet that we had, a small group where they're coming together and they're sharing. So just keep that in mind, that the tool itself isn't collaborative, and the same goes for tools like everything within G Suite for Education. Although I love all of them, and most, if not all, can be made collaborative, unless I set it up for that partner or that group work, it is truly one-on-one independent work for the students. So that's kind of my little spiel around collaboration and around all of these awesome tools. I love them, but it's up to us to actually make them collaborative beyond just teacher-student collaboration. But today we are going to dive into the actual purpose of collaboration. And seriously, I thought this was the cutest little gift that I could throw in here, because we are constantly looking for the purpose. We are trying to sniff out the purpose in anything and everything we do, because we don't have time to waste on the cutesy funsy things. Now there are cute fun things, but
sniff, sniff, sniff.
Yeah, we're sniffing out that purpose. So we are going to focus today on that purpose. And because I am not all about a sit and get, you are going to help define the purpose. So be ready to collaborate with each other. And I wish I had a fun gift like this for every single slide, but I don't. So let's sniff out the purpose. We're going to start by jamming with purpose, only because it's a jam board and that was as creative as I could get. So I'm going to share this Jamboard with you all. And if you have not used Jamboard before, it truly is a cool tool to allow your students to collaborate. Again, if I just give this tool and I give prompts and I have students respond to the prompts, but they don't respond to each other or do anything with each other's responses, that's not collaborative. A bunch of students sticking sticky notes on one jam, unless I'm forcing them to read each other's, I'm just having them respond and move on. So what I'd like for you to do, I'm going to share this with you, only focus on frame 1. Please don't go to frame 2. And I know I've got some oranges in here who are going to get this and instantly need to see what's on frame 2. It won't hurt anything if you look ahead, but look at frame 1. And I like to call this a hashtag the image session. Look at the image. Not going to tell you what it means, and use a sticky note off to the side and create a hashtag for this image. Or if you're really good with the pen or have touchscreen, you can do that here and just put your hashtags all around the image. So let me share this and then we'll go on to slide 2 together. So hashtag the image. That is a great question. There's a question in the chat while you're all hashtagging that says, does Jamboard work with Wacom or Stylus to annotate? It works with Stylus. I don't know what a Wacom is, but I'm seeing Karen shaking her head.
Yes, it will work with a Wacom tablet. Wacom is just like it's a USB, plugs in like a mouse, but you write on like a board. So it works the same way as a stylus. It just like an extension creates a touch screen, so to speak.
So cool. Okay. Yeah. I might need one of those. But
they're pretty cool.
Anything you can write. I say that and then I'm going to find out it's a couple $100, isn't it? Yep. Okay. I don't need one of those. Cool. So I'm looking at our hashtags on this first slide, and I'm going to move some of yours because they tend to go on top of each other. And I see someone in here has some crazy organization, so sorry if mine are going everywhere, but I'm not going to have the perfect rows like we all have. Let's see. We've got genetic engineering, blue, green, brown, eyeballs to clarify. Oh, like baby eyeballs. I like that. I like these hashtags. So some of you may be looking at this and wondering, okay, why are we hashtagging this image? What in the world does it have to do with collaboration? And what is the focus behind this image in and of itself? And typically I would then have you go in and just like what Stacy is already doing, circle one that resonates with you. So circle or put a check mark on somebody else's hashtag that resonates with you. And then we'll get into the purpose behind why we are hashtagging this image right here. Millennial baby, build a baby. Oh, that one resonates with me a lot. Build a baby, like build a bear, that's cute. I will tell you, you can use this hashtag with any new concept. You can use it to build excitement. We were talking about Trash Island with 5th grade, and we had put up a picture of Trash Island with no context behind it other than this is something called Trash Island. And one of our students put hashtag, we did this. And I was like, wow, that's inspiring for a 5th grader to catch on. Like, we need to make that change. We are part of this. So we are going to go on to the next slide. And I have an article for us to read. And once you read the article, you'll catch on to why a picture of what looks like a genetically modified baby, what that has to do with this whole presentation. So in the chat, I am going to share the link for this. Copy link. That person seems good. And you should be able to open it. I'm going to give you about 4 minutes to skim the article. So skim as much as you can in the next 4 to 5 minutes of this article. If you're not able to open it, I will open it on mine. take about 1 more minute. If you're finished, you can actually just hold off 1 second if you're finished. All right, let's come back together. And I apologize if my minutes are not as long as your minutes, or if they're longer than your minutes. I'm the teacher who never actually looks at a clock when I say 1 minute. So I apologize in advance for that. I just say times and then go with what I feel. So it's okay if you didn't finish this article. You have it to read at any time. But the key purpose for me is that we are preparing students for jobs that don't exist. And so I want to dive into our next collaborative activity. And this is something, again, you could do with your students by taking any type of article. I love any real world article I can put in front of them at their level, or a story or anything along those lines, or just new content, could be a video. And on frame 3, add something that's squared away with you. What's something that you're like, yep, that clicks for me? Frame 4. What are 3 main points, so a triangle, 3 main points that you gained from this article? And on frame 5, what is still circling in your head? What's not quite clicking yet, or what's just making you wonder a little bit more? And then frame 6 gives you directions to now go back to frames 3, 4, and 5 and highlight other responses that you connect with. So come back into the Jamboard and complete frames 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'll add mine as well. No worries if you have to jump off. We will record. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll share the recording later too. And you know, for the 3 points, just to move time along, because I don't want us to spend too long on it, you can put 1 main point because we didn't read the whole article. I'm not going to be a stickler today. Oh, I want to make this one bigger. And this one. No worries. I'll share the screen. If you can't participate because you're on your phone, I'll share the screen. You can check out other responses, and you can also throw some of yours in the chat too, and I don't mind adding them that way. Oh, I need to highlight this one. There are no college tracks for jobs that will be needed in 5 to 10 years. So really, although it may not look the same, there are ways that we can still prepare our students. That's why we say 21st century learner, but the reality is we're 20 years into the 21st century. We are more focused on how to create or how to prepare our students for those jobs that don't exist, those jobs in technology, those jobs. I can't think of one single job in the next 20 years that won't include technology of some sorts, and collaboration has to happen. Although when I ask my boyfriend, you know, what's your ideal job? He says to sit in a corner and do coding all day and not have anyone bother me. The reality is he still has to collaborate with others because that's not a job. So there are some jobs that may lend themselves more towards working independently, but they will all involve collaboration. Definitely. This is a great question, Rishma. While collaborating in synchronous learning, do we give students time like I'm doing to read through the article and assign the doc ahead of time? That totally depends on the lesson and on you. I did in this case, I didn't give the article ahead of time because there was enough in the beginning of the article that we could still complete this activity, even if you only finish the first paragraph. So it really depends on your students, but there's a lot of times where I've taught myself to go on mute or be quiet for a few minutes and allow students to read. Because if it's not with me, I can't guarantee that they're going to have that time elsewhere. But you can always assign ahead of time. Just have an activity for those students who did read ahead of time.
Yeah, and my
Oh, good.
yeah, that's a great tool and idea, Becky. But my just question was, somebody like a slow learner or somebody who needs to go back and read the session, how much time do we dedicate to this kind of activity when the article is on the screen and they ask us for more time and something like that?
I think that's going to fully depend on your lesson and your activity. So for me, if you're a slow reader and you only got through a part of the reading, that was okay for this. If it was something you needed to get through all of it, there definitely would have been more time built in and more extension activities built in for our early finishers to be able to go in and continue working. I would have had frames 7, 8, and 9 as extensions. But it will depend on what the reading is and what the purpose is. Today's purpose was really just to get what was right there at that beginning, at least for me. And for some of you, I saw a few other things, like the being resilient. But my big thing was that 65% of children entering grade school today will end up working in jobs that don't even exist yet. And so that's what I want to prepare my students for, especially coming from elementary school. And I could get that in the first few minutes of reading. And then the article was long. So it does depend on how much you need them to complete and the purpose behind the reading. If it's just to finish an article, I usually don't make them finish it. But good question. All right. I see some of us have already been able to go back. If you weren't able to go back and add to each other's. Now, I kept your collaboration pretty simple. I would then take this and have you all get into groups based off of your key ideas. So typically my students would not just put a check mark, they would be initialing. And then I'm going to group my students and then they're going to come and give me more details. So they're actually going to get to sit and it would be in the what's still circling with you. They're going to get to sit and collaborate and chat with each other and come up with, why is this still circling? I mean, there's not much I can do about genetics and ethics, but if that's what's stuck in my head, maybe I need to start, I need to look into that further just to make that.
Hi, good, how are you doing?
I'm good. Quite nice. I think I like it.
Yeah.
Just hello, Sita.
Oh, interesting.
Same, the one that you saw online.
Hey, Reshma.
You have
Kitty's on here.
some marks around
Here we go.
Oh,
Sorry, everyone. There we go.
For now.
yeah.
I like
Should be
it.
good.
And how old is it? Like,
It's maybe 3 years old. So even you are in.
There we go. Okay, sorry about that. No, you're okay. I just want to make sure I got you on mute. So that's one thing that you can do. A couple other activities you can do in Jamboard around collaboration. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. It truly is a whiteboard that you can add images to. So I'm going to put this in the chat. Go through slide by slide, and you can complete the different activities on each slide. You can respond to each other, and you can see that with Jamboard, I'm sorry if I lost my train of thought for 1 second. There are ways that you can go beyond just responding to each other with checks and all of that. So on this first one, share a funny Bitmoji. To share your Bitmoji, you just have to click on it and save, find the one you want. Right click on it and save image as, and then you can upload it in the image. So share a funny Bitmoji or image. And if you don't have Bitmoji, find an image. And then use the sticky note to give, and then find someone else's Bitmoji and use a sticky note to give it a title. So I see 3 Bitmojis in here. I'm already loving all of these. Once you get yours in here, go to somebody else's Bitmoji and give it a title. And this Bitmoji I chose is not my cry for help. This was me just trying to give you something that you could come up with a title for. Did we get a clear frame? Or is that on my end only? I think someone might have hit clear frame. If you did, will you hit the undo? Double check and hit that undo button.
Wasn't me, because I did try to undo.
And that's okay. We can always go on to the next frame. So go through the next few frames. On the next one, you can collaborate and you can share whether you like Taco Tuesday or share what you know about Taco Tuesday versus Wind Down Wednesday. I tried to give us some catchy little things to do with a Venn diagram. Obviously, my students, I wouldn't do Wind Down Wednesday. We can collaborate in a timeline by adding your birthday to the timeline. So this is just a couple of different things that you can play with, and then get creative. How could you use Jamboard with your students to collaborate?
If you had a Bitmoji on that first one, just paste it back again. It got cleared.
Yeah, good idea.
Daryl's was awesome. I was going to call him Disco Stew, but Becky's is awesome. I'm going to stretch it out a little bit. Yay! That's great, Daryl.
All right, while you're doing that, we are finishing up now. I've got about 1 minute, so a few key things to keep in mind, and I'll share the slide deck too, but a few key things around collaboration is that output should not look the same for each group. So if you're doing a Jamboard and you have students working in groups and they turn in their frames and every frame looks the same, that means it probably wasn't collaborative, but they followed teachers' step-by-step directions, because true collaboration should lend itself to a variety of different responses. It should open up opportunities for students to make mistakes. So our first frame got deleted. Was it the end of the world? No. And Stacy quickly jumped in and said, you know what, everyone just re-add your Bitmojis. So that works out. Groups and pairings should change regularly. So I could pair my students based on their Jamboard responses. It should elicit student engagement and curiosity. And you need clear norms. So one norm that I could put in place, is how to go through the Jamboard and fully use all of the key features, but true norms should be in place. Other than that, we thank you all so much for joining. I will be here to answer questions for a few more minutes, and then my food just got delivered, so I will be going to eat some dinner here in a few minutes as well.
I thought I saw it come in the door.
Indian for delivery tonight. I'm excited.
Oh my gosh, I'm starving. Here we put the thing at 7 o'clock at night and we still haven't eaten yet.